Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting podcast of Elevate Your Equity. I'm your host, Derek.
And I'm Sophie.
And it's good to see you guys. And today we have a very special episode because we're actually taking some time out on our trip. And we wanted to update you guys on how everything has been so far. And just reflecting back on all the things we've accomplished and what we're doing right now. At this moment, we're actually, for those of you who are on video, are seeing us sitting inside of a trailer that we just spent the last 2 days, loading up all of our stuff in a storage unit, which used to house all of the remaining items that we had when we were living in California and living the W-2 life and living the life of the American dream, so to speak. And so now we've kind of moved on from that, and we're kind of sitting down, taking a minute just to reflect on it.
Yeah, we are exhausted. So just to recap for everyone who may be hearing us for the first time. So we sold our house in the Bay Area 5 months ago, and we went on a 5-month Airbnb digital nomad adventure. And we've been in about 19 cities.
19 now.
Yeah, and now we're back, and we realized halfway through that we weren't coming back to California. And the reason why we even stored our stuff was because we thought we were going to come back and live in Silicon Valley or, you know, something down the line after we finished our road trip. But things change, and they, you know, for us, they've changed for the better. And so we decided that we're just going to move all our stuff, because all of our stuff is pretty new, and, you know, a lot of pictures, things that, like,
books
we've created a lot of memories with. We're going to take it down to my mom and dad's house for a while, down in Austin, Texas, and just gonna, you know, see where the wind takes us for the next year. And then when we finally do settle and, you know, decide on a place to live, we will take all this stuff there. But, you know, this is very symbolic for us because we are this week, and what's today, October
22nd, I think. Yeah, we lost track of days and times. I know today's Thursday, but yeah.
But basically, you know, we really wanted to be intentional about this week, meaning that the minute that we landed, we wanted to take every moment to, you know, to be grateful. Because how we ended up in the Bay Area to begin with was I got my residency in Santa Rosa, and after I moved here, Derek moved here, and he got a job with PG&E. So we both just kind of ended up here, and it's been great. We've been here about 9 years. I've been here 9 years.
Yeah, probably 7 or 8 for me, because there was a point in time where I was coming down to California to visit you in Santa Rosa for, I think that was about 1.5 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and so, you know, we just wanted to take this week to be very intentional. There's so many nostalgic, wonderful memories that pop up, like when we drove to our old house that we sold, and we're just wondering, I wonder what they've done with it, with, you know, our old house. And you know, even though when we sold it, we drove away and I didn't like look back, but when you know, when you go by it again, it just makes you remember those good times. But yeah, just to be very intentional, express a lot of gratitude for this chapter that the Bay Area has given us, and to kind of almost say like a farewell for now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good, easy and symbolic point for us to be able to close one chapter and open another. I know that we've been kind of doing that like quite a lot recently. There's been a lot of changes in my life, particularly with leaving W-2 and then you know, going on a nomadic adventure and freeing up time and location freedom. And there's been a lot of great things that have been happening, and they've been happening at a much faster rate than I expected. And so really this is just kind of a way for us to put a stamp on it and say that this chapter is finally completed and done. And so I think it's really cool to be able to sit down and acknowledge that. And so if you have anything that's going on in your life, I would recommend that maybe you sit down for just a minute and reflect on all those things that help get you to that point, and just take it in and enjoy those successes because they've become you, right? And if you understand who you are and your strengths, then you can use that to help spring you up to the next level, which is super cool. But for Sophie, I wanted to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
what is this feeling like? Like, is being back here, is it a sad feeling? Is it happy feeling? Is it just the way it is? Is this a consequence, or like what's kind of going on in your mind as far as what's next for us and what this trip represents from all the times in the past being here?
Mm-hmm. Good question. We're not covering up the microphone, are we?
No.
Just asking. Okay. Because I know that my voice is not very loud, especially when we're outdoors. So it's a good question. I don't know. I feel that, well, one, I never really felt that that this area was where we were going to be like forever. True. Anyway, I knew that it was a place that we would have a lot of fun in. It's where we met our mentors. It's where we met a lot of wonderful people, a lot of really good friends. But I always knew that we were going to move on. So the feeling is almost like there's this nostalgia, but there's not very much sadness, I would say. It's almost like it's like an I'm ready, but thank you. Right? That's the feeling that I have. How about you?
Yeah, I would say it's similar. I honestly don't have any attachment to this place whatsoever. I, have a lot of great memories with wonderful people that I've met here in the Bay. But it was a very high energy kind of supercharged type of output that I was doing. I was learning new skills, drinking from the fire hose a lot. And even when I did know what my job was, it was just very busy. And so really, I think California for me, even though the weather's nice and all of that, I really didn't get a chance to enjoy a lot of that just because I was working so much and I was so tired and exhausted. And, of course, I was going through some personal stuff, like we all do that. But, here, it feels like whenever I come back here, I feel closed off and it feels like the past. And I think that for me, there's a lot more good times lying in the future. And so I really kind of want to move on with it. So I was talking with Sophie before. I was wondering, let's do the math for how much is all this stuff even worth? And would it be worth
this stuff back here?
Yeah, all this stuff here that's in a 10 foot of a 28-foot trailer, whether or not we should just trash it all and just like let it go. But
yeah, I guess so. You know what it's made me realize? That I don't want to be a servant to stuff. So if you guys knew me, so I love to nest. Like, I'm a homebody. I just love to make our home feel good and comfy and cozy. And I love putting pictures up, and I love putting just, things that make you feel good and joyful. And I just realized that when you have a 3,000 square foot house, then, there's always space for it. And then, like, for example, if you give me a small purse, I'll fill it up. If you give me a backpack, I'll fill it up. Like, I will fill up any space you give me, 5,000 square foot, 10,000 square foot. So I like stuff. What this has taught me is that there is room for nostalgia, but it doesn't have to be in the form of stuff. Like I realize the benefit of minimalism, and I realize the benefit of traveling light, not just externally, but internally. So when I started getting rid of external stuff, I also found by default that I got rid of a lot of internal baggage. Yeah, literally. And so in the past 5 months of traveling have really taught me that, we both traveled with like a few suitcases, and it's been amazing.
We've made it work for sure. And I think that coming back here, maybe that's what it is. It feels like a tether coming back here. It feels like we're, at a place where it feels like we're here at a place where we're just, we're bound by whatever the stuff that we have. And I just I don't like being bound by anything. I like to live lives of freedom and have choice. And so by being here in California, it just reminds me of all of that. And so I think it's good to put a punctuation point on it and move on.
That's a good point when you said, you know, it's, again, if we're trying to live a life of freedom by design, then for us, like, a ton of stuff is not in the equation. I mean, it's this does not give us freedom. And so, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was like, God, I feel just so bogged down. And whereas the past 5 months it's just been, let's go do whatever we want. Let's go do whatever we want, whenever we want. But this week it's just been like, oh my goodness, we have to go get our stuff from the storage unit. And like Derek said, you know, how much is this stuff even worth? Yeah, maybe half of it is you know, pictures and memories and things like that. But the other half, I would say, is just like, you know, we bought it, we didn't use it, and we just felt bad for not keeping it, not using it. Yeah, exactly. So you know, it's like you lose options when you start putting yourself in a position to, you buy stuff and then you don't have a place to put it, and then you feel obligated to use it. And so I don't know, I just don't like that feeling, because like you said, you become prisoner of what you own. And so I think that an extra layer here for this, and I know that, like, you know, in real estate investing, like, we're always trying to acquire, we're always trying to buy units, but the point is that when we're buying property, we're enabling an income stream to come in, and it's not, and that income stream comes in no matter where you are. So a lot of you guys may think of buying a house or something as like an attachment or additional tether. But for me, it's not really a tether, because you have a team in place that manages it for you. So you have scalability. You have the ability to go in there, collect that income stream, and it goes into your paycheck no matter where you are. You could be in Africa, you could be in Saudi Arabia, you could be anywhere, and that income comes in. And so that's really kind of what we're after here by doing all this. So, you know, we're getting rid of all of our possessions, including the house that we had, that allows us to travel everywhere and live a life of choice. And by buying assets and continuing to acquire in that way, it's feeding a lifestyle of where we have all of our assets in a form where it's coming in no matter where we are, no matter where we live. And so that's something that we've been kind of like designing, but not really knowing how or why. It's just been kind of a natural outflow of what we've been attempting to do right now. So yeah. I think it's a pretty cool thing that's been forming, especially in the last 2 months. It's been crazy, all the stuff that's been happening, but we're really excited with all the stuff. We just found out today too that Sophie just got invited, or was allowed to come to a really cool mastermind event, and it happens to be in Austin too. Yeah. We thought we were gonna have to fly all the way to Cabo for it, but it turns out it's gonna be in Austin, which is where we're gonna be for the winter anyway. Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
Okay, so back in Yosemite, or no, this was, yeah. So I'm part of a mastermind where it's just a wonderful group of doctors who are working really hard to take their practices virtual, and again, creating the life of freedom, creating the life of choice and abundance. And one of the this retreat in December, it was supposed to be held in Cabo, and I was like, we are gonna go no matter where we are. We're gonna be there. We're gonna we're doing it. And you know, a few months into our trip and our travels and being at home, I just realized that, like, I just want to spend time to go deep. We listened to Deep Work by Cal Newport, and it just made me realize that I say we, but me specifically, like, I've been so scattered, and I haven't been necessarily grounded in anything that I've done. I've just been, I mean, of course, I've been having a really, really good time, but I wanted to take the last quarter of this year to just really go deep, get back into a good routine now that we're staying with my mom and dad for about 3 months, and we're just, you know, being able to reflect on everything that we've experienced. So going deep with myself, going deep with my work, my business, my health, and with my family and with Derek. Mm-hmm. And so I made the conscious decision to just start saying no, just intentionally. And so that meant saying no to Cabo. So and this was just like a few days before I got the email saying, wait a second, the whole Cabo trip with this mastermind has been changed to none other than Austin, Texas, 30 minutes away. They could have picked any city in the whole world, really, but they picked Austin, Texas, and it's going to be held at the Miraval Resort and Spa, just a gorgeous place. And that part of me that said no, like, it was like, okay, Sophie, this is a sign you're going to say yes. Yeah, and they're letting me bring Derek with me as well.
Sometimes, that's when there's a sign, right? Or something. You should interpret that as it's something you should do. Like when life gives you lemons, you got to make the lemonade. And so it's a really cool thing to have that happen. It's like it was supposed to be something that you're supposed to go to. Yeah. And we just found out earlier today that she's gonna be able to go to it, that she's invited. Yep. So really proud of Sophie for that, because it's gonna be really awesome to meet some incredible people and take both of our games up to the next level.
And what's great is that they're letting me bring either a spouse or an integrator, and I have both wrapped up in one. So.
Oh my gosh. Yep. So that's me. But anyways, you guys, I think that's it. My hand is getting really tired. It's been about 16 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. But before I do that, I'm actually going to take you on a really quick tour of where we are right now. So for those of you who are watching this podcast on YouTube, you get an extra bonus, because I'm going to be walking you through a little bit. There's not too much to see, actually, but maybe a little bit, because we have all of our stuff packed up over here. But we do have some pictures, and we're going to be sending out some social media, or by the time this podcast airs, it may already be out there already. But we're planning on having some goodies and showing you our whole journey from plane ride to getting packed up and leaving out here. So, but anyways, let's take a look. So this is our trailer, and what I thought was really cool about this is that they pretty much allow you to take a trailer and you can fill it up. You can see here as far as you can, and every 2 feet they charge you a fixed amount of money, and so you put all your stuff in here. You can kind of see in here that, like, we've got all of our belongings in there. That's a bike in the front, but inside there you pack it up, and then they take this trailer, and with this trailer you can see it's like an 18-wheeler. There's Sophie there for scale. And so you can see that, like, it's just a little trailer they drop off. You fill it up, and then what happens is they take it out and they drive it away, and then they fill it up with other commercial goods in this second half of the building, or the second half of the trailer. And then from there, they just kind of deliver it to a place of your choosing, after allowing some other folks fill this up and take it out before you. So this is our last look of California, and hopefully this was a good podcast and you guys enjoyed ranting and raving here from California. But this has been a heck of a ride, and we're so glad to have you guys with us. So if you guys like what we're doing, please like and subscribe, and wherever you're listening to this, comment with us, and reach out. Let us know how we're doing, because we want to make sure that we're getting you the information you want, or the inspiration that you're looking for as well. So with that being said, this is Derek.
And this is Sophie.
We're signing off for today, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.